This meeting is held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act 10:4-6 at SEEK. Annual notice having been forwarded to the New Jersey Herald and the New Jersey Sunday Herald and posted on the bulletin board maintained in the municipal buildings for public announcements. Would you please rise and join us in a salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence. We have a flag right here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please remain standing, please, for a moment of silence for Lieutenant Colonel Jim Myers, who is the father-in-law of Ron Tappan, one of our board members, Millie Castoro, who recently passed away, who was the widow of Vito Castoro, a longtime council person in town, and John Scala, who was currently the Senior of the Year. We would also like to recognize anybody else who is suffering because of the coronavirus or during this time. So for a moment, please.
Keep us all Klein in our memories too.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Duncan? Mr. Gaffney?
Gaffney.
Yes.
He's here. Mrs. Kroc? Mr. Leggio?
Here.
Mr. Rahal?
Here.
Mr. Ray? Mr. Riley? Mr. Tappan? Councilman Schindler? Here. Mayor Francis?
Here.
Mr. Gilbert?
Here. We have a quorum, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay. The minutes of the meeting of July 7th, 2020 were distributed electronically. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Leggio?
Abstain.
Mr. Rahal?
Abstain.
Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, the minutes are approved. We start tonight with a work session. Todd Acuna, I believe you're here?
Yes.
Okay, Todd Acuna, block 30707, lot 6. The applicant would like to discuss the possibility of storing boats and trailers on the property, which is currently occupied by the Grotto Restaurant. Mr. Acuna, you're on.
Hi, how you doing today? Thank you, guys. Yeah, previously back, the boats were stored back there, and due to coronavirus and everything that we're dealing with, I just want to restore the boats, trailers back in the property, be cleaned up and everything else behind the grotto. You really can't see it from the road. I mean, I don't even notice they're there. Any suggestions, any problems, any questions you have for me?
Is there a site
Okay.
plan on the property already? Do we have a site plan for the property?
I have a survey with them. I just acquired the building in February.
I see.
So I have a survey of everything that was there before.
Be helpful to have that.
There are some previous site plans. I mean, not what we would see today as a site plan, but there is a bit of a history of site plan for the property. So I think there is something in the
Right.
archive.
And Bill,
storage.
do any of them show the usage as storing boats or trailers?
No.
No. I was over there the other day and I spoke with Mr. Acuna and I walked the property and he's correct. You don't really see it from the road, although I would like to see the fence extended on the side where the front of the restaurant is so that you can't even see it if you go into the parking lot. There are about 15 trailers and one boat back there now, and they don't even take up the entire property. It is, I believe, in the commercial zone. Is that correct, John or Bill? Or Bill?
Yes, I believe it's the B1.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mr. Acuna, what does the coronavirus?
Help with the paying taxes, help with the income.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Al, question, is this a temporary use variance?
Well, depends. Well, this is just a work session, so it depends on what Mr. Acuna would be looking for.
Got it.
What are you looking for?
I mean, I would like, if it's at all possible, to keep it there, but I mean, throughout when I get the permits and everything, you guys approve it, I'm just trying to keep the income low, to keep taxes. There's not many there. So we're talking $8 amounts. I do rent them out.
I think that the good thing is that you can't see it. And if he does extend that fence a little bit like you recommended, Alan, it took me a little while to find it. I had to drive around a couple of times, and I kind of know the town. I said, what the hell are you talking about? So I went in and said, where's this boat thing? I had to go around the back of the building. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, it's also part of the redevelopment zone.
Yes. So,
and in my opinion, I think with the way our economy is working, the way our businesses are getting killed because they simply, especially restaurants, I could see where this would be beneficial to the business and probably wouldn't hurt the town. We are a lake community, and so I don't have a big problem with it as long as we get a site plan that represent it. And I know they parked boats there previously. I think Bill Donegan could attest to that. I don't know if it was done appropriately or not, but I know that property was used for that, and the property is pretty well kept too. So it was kind of neat looking.
yes. And I thought that there was a septic field back there, but Mr. Acuna assured me that they're on sewer back there now.
Yeah, that's all sewer. That's a sewer area.
Yeah. So, but I think that if we go forward with this, and if Mr. Acuna brings us a site plan, that it should indicate a number of boats and/or trailers to be stored. I wouldn't want to just leave it open and just have an acreage back there where boats and trailers are haphazardly put in.
That's fair. Like I said, I mean, yeah, it's pretty neat back there and organized, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I would also like to see the fence extended on the back of the property where there are those big logs that look like trees that are down. The fence goes all the way up one side and partially down the back, and then it picks up again after those trees. But if the whole thing were enclosed in fence, I think that'd be great.
Well, that'd be good for security too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any problem with that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else from the board have comments or questions about this?
Oh, none here.
Okay. Anybody from the public have comments or questions on this work session item?
If anyone from the public wants to comment, go to the bottom of your screen, hit the reactions button, and just raise your hand. I'm not seeing anyone.
Okay, I will bring it back to the board then. Mr. Acuna, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask the board members?
About the trailers and the fence, and that one, I have nothing about that. You guys have been very helpful. I want to say thank you. It's been very helpful.
So, Mr. Acuna, you'll come back before the board, excuse me, you'll come back before the board and you'll present a plan showing the number of boats or trailers, where they'll be, and you'll show an extension of the fence. I think that's the direction that the board is taking.
Sounds fair. That's not a problem.
Okay. All right. In that case, I think we're done with this work session, unless anybody has another comment or Mr. Acuna has any additional questions.
Nothing else not regarding topic. Thank you.
Okay, then we will move on to the extension application. Mr. Kimilinski, Block 31101, lots 1 and 2, 345 Maximum Trail. Is Mr. Kimilinski here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. The applicant would like an extension of a previously granted variance or previously granted variances.
Alan, if I could interrupt for 1 second. Rich
Sure.
just joined the meeting, so he's here too.
Who is?
Rich?
Oh,
Councilman
okay.
Sigler. Hello.
Okay.
I finally
hello
moved
there.
on. Had problems.
Okay. So, Mr. Kimilinski, Bill, does he have to be sworn in, I believe?
Yes. Mr. Kimilinski, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear
Yes.
the testimony? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
And Mr. Kimilinski, you're the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay, sir. You want to explain to us why you're here, what you want to do?
I got variance approved in 2016 to build this 2-story garage and a retaining wall. I built there just only retaining wall, and 2018 my house was burned down. I started to build the house because it was more important. So now is my variance was expired, but instead build a garage, I would like to build only sheds, much smaller.
Okay. The problem I see is that we approved the building of a 2-story garage, and this is a completely separate item, separate application.
Well, yeah,
Bill?
Alan, I don't see it as much of a, would the shed be located in the same location?
Yes.
Okay. The shed is much smaller. It reduces the nonconformity, reduces the variances. If we approve a large garage and somebody says, well, gee, I'm going to build it a little smaller, we don't make them come back in this case, and we shouldn't. In this case, it's a shed. It's on the same location. It reduces the variances. I don't see a problem with it, frankly.
Okay.
I think it's desirable, if anything.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Comments or questions?
No, I think that's a good idea.
Smaller is better.
Yes.
Yeah, much smaller, much smaller.
Okay, if you hold on a moment, please. Bob Duncan is trying to get in, and he needs the meeting ID number,
Hold on.
which I will send him.
I got it. Hold on.
Got it?
Done.
There we go. Let me forward this to him.
Alan, I already sent it to him.
You did? Okay, good. All right, and I'm sending it to him as well, just in case. Okay, so let's get back to this. Are there any other comments or questions from board members?
This is Anthony. Well, while we're waiting for Bob to get in, I'm a little bit confused. The 2-story garage is going to, or the shed is going to be on the same spot the 2-story garage was going to be, or it looks to me that the shed would be in front of where the 2-story garage was going to be. Am I reading?
Can you repeat, please?
The shed that you're looking at building, it looks to me that the shed is going to be in front of the location where you were going to build the 2-story garage. Is that correct?
Same location. It's same location, exactly same location.
What is actually behind it? In the picture that you sent where it shows the new shed location?
No,
What is
but
that?
on the picture, it's like I built a wall.
That's just
The wall.
Okay.
Retaining wall. I just need to attach just shed attached to the retaining wall.
Yeah, Anthony, I think the picture shows the existing conditions, which has a trailer and a small shed.
Right, the
and
trailer
some
gonna
motor
remove.
vehicles.
Yes.
They're going to go, and the shed would be in that place.
Yes, because I live in that shed in that trailer and until they build a house.
Okay.
Does this help, guys?
Yes.
It does.
Ah, there we go. Yes.
What do those doors go into? That's what I'm curious about.
Say that again, please.
The doors on the picture, what do they go into there? Those look like.
That's a little cheap shed. Just
It's a small shed. It's a small shed I used to for a laundry machine when they build a house. I use the laundry machine over there.
I see.
Yeah, everything you see there is going to be removed.
Yes, exactly.
I have it. Okay. Thank you.
That was probably going to be the basement of your garage?
No basement.
No, that general area, when the garage that was approved, where you're going to be putting this shed, was going to be underneath the garage that was
Right.
approved.
Yeah. Yes. Underneath. Yes.
The shed would be used only for your personal property. You're going to,
Yes.
it'll be
Exactly.
exclusive to your property. Okay.
Yep.
Hello, Bob.
Good.
Okay, any other questions, comments from board members?
Could I add one other thing, Mr. Kimilinski? Are you going to stick build this shed, or there originally you were talking about maybe using a shipping container?
No, it's just from 2 by. I sent to the, just built. It's built from 2 by 4 to
Stick built.
Stick built. Yes.
Residentially stick built.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, anything else? Okay, let me open it up to the public. Would anybody from the public like to ask questions or make comments about this application?
Go ahead and hit that reaction button at the bottom of the screen if anybody wants to comment.
Mr. Duncan, are you with us? Connecting to audio. He's muted, is he, Danielle?
No,
Okay, he's connected.
audio just isn't connecting.
Okay. Bob, do you hear us now? Okay. Just give us a thumbs up. Okay. Danielle, do you see anybody want to make
I
a
do not.
comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. What is the pleasure of the
I'll
board?
make a motion to approve this.
Second,
Who's second?
Justin.
Thank you. Mr. Bongiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gaff?
Yes.
Mr. Lejo?
Yes.
Mr. Rayhill?
Yes.
Councilman Schindler?
Yes.
Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Abstain. Okay, you have it, Mr. Kimilinski.
Thank you very much. Thank you
So
very
you have
much.
2 more years.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for coming
Bye-bye.
tonight. Nice to see you. Okay, we also have a continued application, Michael Murata, lot 20209, lot 1.01, 51 Kiner Avenue. Is Mr. Murata here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay. The applicant is seeking a variance where steep critical slope is determined by the as-built survey provided. Bill, do you want to swear him in?
Mr. Murata, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Murata, you are the property owner.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to start by asking you a question. Mr. Murata, is the address 51 or 53?
53.
Okay, we have 51 on our records, but when I was by the other day, I noticed that the house number is 53.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to John Rushke. John, please give us some guidance on this.
And I'm just looking up the application now. If the application was I think there may be a notice issue if the application was submitted as 51, but it actually was 53. Is that ultimately, because this issue started, basically even before the house got its CO.
You had two lots that were approved through a minor subdivision, and we're only dealing with one of the two lots, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Murata?
Yes.
What's the lot and block of the lot we're dealing with?
It's block 20209, lot 1.01.
Would that be 51, Kiner, sir?
That's 53.
That's 53.
That's not the way it's listed on the paperwork.
No, all of our paperwork has 51.
That's because the latest review I got from John had 51.
Yeah,
Or no,
but
I'm sorry, Carriega.
I'm talking about everything, the Sussex County certificate of compliance, everything.
Yes.
I've been trying to straighten this out for 6-8 months, and it keeps coming back with a different number. Why? I couldn't tell you.
Well, even the stuff from Mr. Carriega has 51.
Keeps coming back. I tell them over and over again, it's 53, and it just keeps, every time I get some kind of correspondence, there's 51.
Okay, then I'm going to defer to Bill Haggerty.
Does the notice say 51?
Excuse me?
Did the notice say 51 or 53?
The notice that we sent out, 53.
Bill, do you have a copy?
The notice that was sent out said 53, and the publication said 53?
Yes, it did.
Bill, I think the bottom line is, what sets the precedent? The lot and block or the actual address? And I believe it should be the lot and block. Is the lot and block correct?
The lot and block and the address on his noticing says 53. So the
And
notice,
and the lot is 1.01?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I agree with Rich on that one.
Okay.
It's, the actual physical address is simply set by the post office.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Still needs to get corrected, though.
Yeah.
We can correct the paperwork easy enough, but the fact that our records really go by block and lot. That's how we categorize them. And it looks to me like the 51 is a clerical error by people that have been working on this, but in fact the block and lot are correct. And it's a good thing that
When I typed it for the agenda, I looked at Carriega's letter and I took the address off of there. So everything else is 53.
Okay.
Okay.
So Bill, we can proceed.
I would move on. Yes, I would proceed with it.
Okay, then.
The notice was right. The publication was right.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll go to John Rushke again. Is everything in order, John?
Yes. This issue was the fact that they had an approved limited disturbance with their subdivision plan, and then during construction, some changes were made and the limited disturbance was exceeded. I asked him to verify the actual limits, verify through an as-built of the limited disturbance and validate or review the disturbance of steep slopes, and it was found that steep slope disturbances had occurred. So he's here. He's not asking. This is a retroactive approval. So the house was built. The disturbance was done, and I'm not in a position to grant variances. I have to send them back to the board.
Okay, thank you, John. Anybody from the board have comments or questions?
No. Hey, John.
Okay.
Was it built right?
Yes. Yeah, there were some minor deviations, but they were worked out in the field.
So everything.
I don't have my letter. I'm not making any recommendations of any modifications or changes or conditions of approval. He did stabilize the area, and he reacted prior to going to the board to make sure the site was in compliance.
And Carriega confirms that with his survey and his work with it?
I don't rely on Carrie Yeager for anything from my final
Good.
approval. I rely on his survey and
That's why I asked, John.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay,
No.
let me open it up to the public. Would anybody from the public like to comment or question this application? Danielle, do we have anyone?
I don't see
Okay.
anyone now.
Seeing no one, I will bring it back to the board then. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to move it.
To approve it, okay.
Move it, sorry.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Lejo?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Councilman Schindler?
Yes.
Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Murata, you're okay. You're good.
Ready.
Okay. If you can get the paperwork straightened out, if not,
Yeah,
as long as the lot and block number are sufficient, we'll go forward.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're all set
There
with
are no
everything?
new applications. Bill, do you have a zoning officer report for us?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Is there discussion that is necessary? Okay, resolutions. First, Thomas Gage, hearing date June 16th, 2020. A motion is in order to approve the Gage resolution deeming the application incomplete. The application was for variances to permit construction of a single-family home on a vacant lot at 14 Brown Trail, block 11112, lot 15.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Abstain.
Mr. Duncan?
Abstain.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Lejo?
Same.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Councilman Schindler?
Hey, Bill, do I have to recuse myself?
It's,
Yes, you and the mayor both.
Okay,
yes,
I
yes,
recuse myself.
there's a D element, yes, yes.
Mr. Gilbert? Okay, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes. That motion, I believe, passed.
Yes.
So that we have deemed Mr. Gage's application incomplete. Let's keep in mind that we did discuss at the last meeting the fact that any further communication from Mr. Gage must go through Mr. Haggerty.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a resolution for the DiVenuto Family Revocable Trust, also June 16th, 2020. Motion is in order to approve the DiVenuto Family Revocable Trust resolution permitting variances for the construction of additions to an existing single-family home at 1025 Mohawk Trail, block 50402, lot 2.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Abstain.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Lejo?
Same.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Councilman Schindler?
Yes.
Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes. Okay, that takes care of resolutions. Correspondence. There is no correspondence for this meeting unless something has come in since I looked. Nope. Okay. No escrow refunds. So let's move on to the bills. We only have bills from the New Jersey Herald.
Bills.
Second.
Mr. Bongiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Lejo?
Yes.
Councilman Schindler?
Yes.
Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes. I will now open the meeting to the public. I will ask that anyone from the public who wants to address the board on any issue at all, hit the reaction button at the bottom of your screen and you will be recognized.
I don't see anyone, Ellen.
Okay, in that case, I'll bring it back to the board. Is there any old business? Any new business? Mr. Lejo,
Motion to adjourn?
we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you. Good night.
If you guys
Night,
could drop off
night.
your
Night,
packets,
everybody.
I need your packets back. I need some plans, so if you could drop your packets off, I would appreciate it.
You okay?
Okay.